line. Jacqui Scruby is the independent MP for Pittwater. Very good morning to you, Jacqui.
Good morning, Hamish. Thanks for having me.
What do you make of the government's response to this inquiry and what they're now saying they're going to do?
Well, I'll look at the detail later today when it's released, but I think it's not going far enough. And particularly in Pittwater, the previous caller mentioned e-bikes. We've got a boom and explosion and cultural revolution of e-bikes, particularly those fat bikes, which have loads of benefits, but also loads of risks. And as you mentioned, there's a complete enforcement vacuum as well. So whilst I welcome any improvements to defining the laws and setting speed limits, I don't think the government's going far enough, and I'll be pushing for them to go further.
So what would you like them to do?
So firstly, I think we do need a definition around what an e-bike is, but also recognising that at the moment there's already illegal behaviour in terms of the companies providing codes to unlock the bikes. They're being ridden over the 25 kilometre speed limit, which is defined as a legal bike. And we've got kids riding on 6-lane roads with 50 kilometres an hour with no helmet and no knowledge of the road rules because they've never sat the exam. So what I'm calling for is, yes, better definitions. I would like to see like a boat licence where either children who haven't done their L's are required to do their L's at a younger age, or and adapted for bike riding as well, or similar to a boat licence, they have to set a test. I mean, I would even go so far as liking to see accountability with, registration and making sure there's third-party insurance as well, because I know shared pathways have been mentioned in today's media release, but we also need to consider footpaths and what's allowed on the footpaths. And I've had lots of accidents and people, particularly elderly residents, feeling very unsafe on the footpath. So I am supportive of striking a balance. It's a cultural revolution. They're not going anywhere, but we need to get that balance right. And I'm fearful that what we'll see today won't be going far enough, particularly for these e-bikes.
Just to extend that thought then, are we talking about things like registration plates on e-scooters and e-bikes then?
Well, the government's not talking about that, but I'm talking about that.
But I mean, if you're saying you think there should be some form of licensing and accountability, wouldn't you then need a way of tracking and identifying the offending vehicle?
Well, that would be through a number plate process. I think the thing that's not being recognised here when we're talking about an e-bike is they're 50 kilograms as well. So they're different from a normal bicycle. And I don't think the definitions will go, to the extent of recognising that from an insurance perspective. And we're seeing accidents already. So if the government's saying that road safety is the number one consideration, they have to acknowledge that at the moment we've got young kids riding without helmets up to 50 kilometres an hour. And yes, the definitions need to fix, but we also have to have the enforcement vacuum addressed. And I'm not one for wanting, huge enforcement, but that's where I think having the education programs, like we see with the boat licence, where kids as young as 12 are getting their boat licence, doing the exam, and through that exam process, they get not only knowledge of the rules, but respect for the rules as well, because we all need to coexist, and having an understanding of the rules is step one in terms of making sure that, these e-bikes are incorporated in a way where everyone feels safe, including pedestrians.
Do you think the state government is meeting those requirements, making sure everyone feels safe in the way they're delivering this?
No, I don't, but it's only stage one, and we'll see what happens later today when they respond to the inquiry, and then reforms will happen over time, but I'll be probably pushing and advocating for them to go further than what I expect will be released today.
Jacqui Scruby, thanks for your time this morning. That's the independent MP for Pittwater.
Now we're talking Sydney.
This is Mornings
With Hamish Macdonald
on 702 ABC Radio Sydney.